The Quest of the Seven Suns. In the peaceful village of Elderbrook, nestled between ancient hills and whispering forests, lived a young astronomer named Finn. His small cottage sat atop the highest hill, its windows gleaming like stars in the twilight. Each evening, Finn would settle into his favorite chair beside the window, surrounded by old books and brass instruments, studying the mysterious skies above. The world Finn inhabited was unlike our own, for it was blessed with 7 suns, each casting its unique light and bringing different gifts to the land. The golden sun brought warmth and vitality, the silver sun carried wisdom and dreams, the copper sun nurtured growth and abundance, the crystal sun brought clarity and truth, the azure sun governed the waters and winds, the emerald sun sustained all living things, and the ruby sun kept the balance of time itself. For countless generations, these celestial guardians had maintained perfect harmony, dancing their eternal dance across the heavens. But on one peculiar autumn evening, as Finn gazed through his telescope, he noticed something unsettling. The familiar patterns had shifted ever so slightly, and the usually steady lights of the sun seemed to flicker with uncertainty. That night, as gentle winds rustled through the elderberry trees surrounding his cottage, Finn received an unexpected visitor. The village elder, Mara, climbed the winding path to his door, her silver hair glowing softly in the misty evening light. Her arrival at such an hour was unusual, and Finn could sense the weight of importance in her measured steps. Mara settled into the chair across from Finn, her ancient eyes reflecting the starlight. She shared with him a truth that had been guarded by the elders for generations. The 7 suns were not merely celestial bodies, but ancient guardians, each containing powerful magic that maintained the balance of their world. These guardians had protected the realm since the dawn of time, but now they were beginning to drift from their ordained positions. The elder explained that every 1,000 years, the suns required a special kind of alignment, guided by one chosen to understand their divine dance. According to prophecies written in the ancient scrolls, this time had come again, and the signs pointed to Finn as the one who must undertake this sacred quest. As Finn absorbed this revelation, the night air grew still, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Mara explained that each sun had drifted to a different corner of the realm, taking refuge in sacred sanctuaries where their power could be preserved. To prevent the unraveling of their world and #039's very fabric, each sun would need to be found and guided back to its proper place in the celestial dance. The task seemed impossible, yet as Mara spoke of it, something stirred in Finn and #039's heart, a recognition of truth that ran deeper than doubt. She presented him with an ancient compass, its face marked not with cardinal directions but with 7 distinct symbols, each representing one of the suns. This would be his guide on the journey ahead. That night, as Mara descended the hill path, Finn remained at his window, watching the unusual patterns in the sky with new understanding. The gentle breeze carried the sweet scent of elderflowers, and in that moment, he felt the weight of his calling settle around him like a comfortable cloak. The following dawn brought with it a soft, muted light, as if the remaining suns were struggling to maintain their brilliance. Finn packed his belongings with care, star charts handed down through generations, the ancient compass, herbs for healing, and bread baked by the village baker with blessings woven into every loaf. The villagers gathered to bid him farewell, their faces showing both hope and concern. Children presented him with small tokens, smooth stones, carefully pressed flowers, and tiny hand-woven bracelets for luck. These simple gifts carried the pure magic of innocent wishes, and Finn tucked each one carefully into his pack. As he set out on the path leading away from Elderbrook, Finn felt a profound sense of peace despite the magnitude of his task. The first leg of his journey would take him toward the mountains in the east, where legends spoke of a crystal cave that sang with celestial harmonies. According to his studies and Mara and #039's guidance, this would likely be where the crystal sun had sought sanctuary. The path wound through meadows where the grass whispered ancient secrets, and butterflies with wings like stained glass danced in the altered sunlight. Each step seemed to carry him further into a world where the boundary between the ordinary and the magical grew ever thinner. As Finn journeyed eastward, the landscape gradually transformed. The gentle meadows gave way to rolling hills covered in silver-leaf trees that seemed to whisper ancient lullabies in the breeze. The altered sunlight created curious patterns on the ground, like fragments of forgotten dreams scattered across his path. Time moved differently in this realm of shifting light. Finn found himself walking through pockets of warm afternoon sun that melted seamlessly into cool morning mist, then back again. The ancient compass in his hand hummed softly, its crystal face gleaming whenever he moved in the right direction. After several days of peaceful travel, the foothills of the great eastern mountains came into view. Here, the very rocks seemed to hold memories of the ages, their surfaces etched with patterns that looked remarkably like star charts. Finn spent peaceful evenings studying these natural maps, comparing them to the charts in his books while soft mountain breezes played with the pages. The higher he climbed, the more the air filled with a subtle melody, barely perceptible at first, like the ghost of a song half remembered from childhood. The crystal caves were said to sing, but Finn had always assumed this was merely a poetic description. Now he understood it was quite literal, though far more beautiful than any earthly music. On the morning of his 7th day of travel, Finn discovered a narrow path winding between two towering cliffs. The stone walls were studded with tiny crystals that caught what little light reached them, creating a pathway of stars. The singing grew stronger here, becoming a chorus of ethereal voices that seemed to welcome him forward. The path opened into a vast cavern that took Finn and #039's breath away. Countless crystals of every size covered the walls, ceiling, and floor, each one singing its own note in perfect harmony with the others. In the center of this magnificent space, suspended in mid-air, floated the crystal sun, though it looked quite different from how it appeared in the sky. Here in its sanctuary, the crystal sun had taken the form of an enormous crystalline flower, its petals slowly rotating as they caught and scattered light in mesmerizing patterns. The song that filled the cave seemed to emanate from its very core, telling stories of clarity, truth, and the ancient knowledge it had guarded since the beginning of time. Finn spent several peaceful hours simply observing the crystal sun, allowing its song to wash over him as he thought about how to proceed. The ancient texts had spoken of the importance of understanding each sun and #039's nature before attempting to guide it home. The crystal sun and #039's song gradually began to form words in his mind, not through his ears but through his heart and #039's understanding. It shared with him the tale of how the 7 suns had first come to be, born from the dreams of the universe itself. Each sun had been entrusted with a different aspect of existence to protect and nurture. The crystal sun and #039's domain was truth and clarity, helping all beings see beyond illusion to the heart of things. As night fell outside the cave, the crystalline flower began to pulse with a softer light. Finn realized that the sun was not truly lost or misplaced, it had retreated here out of necessity, waiting for the right moment and the right person to help restore the celestial balance. Its song spoke of patience, of waiting through long ages for this precise moment in time. With infinite gentleness, Finn began to hum along with the sun and #039's melody, adding his own voice to its eternal song. As he did so, the crystalline flower slowly descended until it hovered just before him. One by one, the countless crystals in the cave added their light to the sun and #039's glow, until the entire cavern blazed with pure, white radiance. In that moment of perfect harmony, Finn understood what he needed to do. The crystal sun had not needed finding, it had needed understanding. As this realization filled him, the great crystalline flower began to shift and change, its light gathering into a more familiar form. The crystal sun as he had known it in the sky gradually reformed, though now he could still hear its song within its light. Together, they emerged from the cave into a dawn painted with unusual colors. The crystal sun took its place in the sky, not in its final position, but closer to where it needed to be. Finn knew it would follow along with him as he sought the others, gradually moving into proper alignment as each of its celestial siblings was found and understood. With the compass glowing warmly in his hand and the crystal sun and #039's song still echoing in his heart, Finn turned his steps toward the deep forests of the west, where legend spoke of an ancient grove that glowed with emerald light. The first sun had been restored, but his journey was far from over. The journey westward took Finn through landscapes that grew progressively more verdant and wild. The forest beckoned with ancient wisdom, its shadows soft and welcoming rather than forbidding. Massive trees stretched their branches toward the unusual sky, their leaves shimmering with hints of otherworldly light. As he ventured deeper into the woodland realm, Finn noticed subtle changes in the plant life around him. Flowers bloomed in mysterious patterns, forming circles and spirals that seemed to follow some hidden mathematical harmony. Vines curved in perfect golden ratios, and even the smallest plants appeared to be growing in response to some greater purpose. The compass guided him along hidden paths where the undergrowth parted gracefully before his feet. Above, the crystal sun and #039's light filtered through the canopy, creating delicate patterns that helped him read the forest and #039's secret signs. Small creatures with gleaming eyes and fur like starlight occasionally crossed his path, regarding him with ancient intelligence before disappearing into the greenery. After 3 days of peaceful walking, Finn entered a part of the forest where the trees grew so tall and wide that each one seemed like a world unto itself. Their trunks were wrapped in phosphorescent moss that glowed with a soft, emerald light. The air here felt thick with life and possibility, each breath filling him with renewed vitality. In a vast clearing among these ancient giants, Finn discovered a sight that made him pause in wonder. The emerald sun had transformed itself into a tremendous tree of light, its branches extending in every direction, connecting to the surrounding forests through threads of pure energy. Every leaf was a perfect gem, and its roots, visible through the translucent earth, spread out like rivers of green fire. Unlike the crystal sun and #039's song, the emerald sun spoke through the subtle language of growing things, the unfurling of leaves, the slow stretch of branches, the patient reaching of roots through soil. Finn sat beneath its radiant canopy, allowing his breathing to synchronize with the gentle pulse of life that flowed through everything around him. The great tree showed him visions of the forest and #039's memories, the first seeds taking root in ancient soil, the slow dance of seasons across millennia, the intricate web of life that connected every living thing. The Emerald Sun and #039's purpose was not just to nurture growth, but to maintain the delicate balance between all living things. As night approached, fireflies emerged from the forest depths, their lights matching the rhythm of the Emerald Sun and #039's pulsing energy. They formed complex constellations in the air, mirroring the patterns of the stars above. Through their dance, Finn began to understand how the seven suns had once moved together in perfect synchronicity. The forest itself seemed to be helping him, offering its ancient memories freely. He learned how the Emerald Sun had retreated to this sanctuary when it felt the balance of life beginning to waver, waiting for someone who could understand the deeper harmony needed to restore equilibrium to the world. As midnight approached, the fireflies gathered around the glowing tree in ever-tightening spirals. The Emerald Sun and #039's light began to concentrate, drawing inward, its massive form gradually condensing into a more familiar celestial shape. The process was as natural as a flower closing its petals for the night, each movement graceful and unhurried. The surrounding trees swayed in a wind that carried the scent of spring growth and autumn harvest combined. Their ancient voices joined in a hushed chorus as the Emerald Sun rose slowly above the canopy to take its place in the sky alongside the crystal sun. The two lights merged their radiance, creating a new color that spoke of both truth and life. Finn remained in the clearing until dawn, watching as the forest adjusted to the Emerald Sun and #039's transformation. The phosphorescent moss continued to glow, now pulsing in rhythm with the celestial light above. He understood that the forest would always maintain its connection to its guardian, just as he now carried a piece of its wisdom within himself. With two of the seven suns now restored, the compass pointed toward the distant mountains of the north, where legends told of a valley that held pools of pure silver light. The silver sun awaited him there, ready to share its dreams and mysteries. As Finn gathered his belongings and prepared to leave the forest sanctuary, he felt the Emerald Sun and #039's blessing flow through him like a gentle spring rain, strengthening him for the path ahead. The forest created a path for his departure, the branches arching overhead to form a green tunnel that guided him northward. Behind him, the ancient trees whispered their gratitude, and before him, the compass glowed with increasing warmth, promising new wonders yet to be discovered. The northern path led Finn through lands where reality seemed to blur at the edges, like a painting left out in the rain. The combined light of the crystal and emerald suns created curious effects in the air, forming prismatic bridges between earth and sky. The world felt softer here, more permeable to dreams and ancient memories. As he traveled, Finn noticed that shadows began to move independently of their objects, dancing and swirling in patterns that told stories of their own. The boundary between day and night became less distinct, with stars occasionally visible in broad daylight and sunlight streaming through the darkness of night. The compass led him to a valley nestled between three peaks that seemed to be made of mirror-bright stone. Here, pools of silver light collected like morning dew, their surfaces reflecting not the sky above but scenes from distant times and places. Snow fell upward around him, each flake containing a tiny world of its own. In the heart of this dream-touched valley, Finn found the silver sun. It had transformed itself into a vast mirror that floated between earth and sky, its surface rippling like liquid starlight. As he approached, Finn saw not his own reflection but glimpses of all possible futures and echoes of countless pasts. The silver sun spoke to him through visions and half-remembered dreams. It showed him libraries containing every book that had ever been written and those yet to be imagined. He saw gardens where ideas grew like flowers and oceans filled with the world and #039's collected wisdom. Time moved strangely here, moments stretched into eternities, while years passed between heartbeats. Through these shifting visions, the silver sun revealed its true purpose. It was not merely a source of light but a keeper of wisdom, guardian of the thin places where reality met dream. Its light helped bridge the gap between what was, what is, and what might be. As night and day cycled rapidly overhead, Finn sat beside one of the silver pools, watching as scenes from his own journey replayed across its surface. He saw himself as he appeared to others, a gentle soul with stars in his eyes and determination in his heart. The silver sun showed him how each small action rippled outward, affecting the great dance of the universe in ways he had never imagined. The air grew thick with possibility as the silver sun began its transformation. The great mirror dissolved into countless droplets of light, each one containing a fragment of wisdom or a splinter of dreams. These droplets swirled together, forming complex patterns in the air before finally coalescing into the celestial form Finn recognized from the sky. As the silver sun took its place alongside its siblings, the valley filled with a light that seemed to shine from within everything it touched. The three mountains sang in harmonies of crystal and stone, their mirror-bright surfaces reflecting the renewed radiance of the three restored suns. The compass grew warm in Finn and #039's hands, its needle now pointing east again, but this time toward the distant sea where legends said the azure sun had taken refuge in the depths. He knew his journey was far from over, but with each sun restored, the world felt more complete, more alive with possibility. Before leaving the valley, Finn gathered a small vial of the silver water from one of the pools. The liquid inside shifted constantly, sometimes showing stars, sometimes dreams, a reminder of the magical realm he had witnessed. The silver sun and #039's light would guard his dreams now, helping him understand the deeper truths hidden in the darkness between stars. Three suns now lit the sky in an elegant dance, their combined light creating new colors and possibilities with each passing moment. The crystal sun and #039's song of truth, the emerald sun and #039's pulse of life, and the silver sun and #039's dreams of wisdom wove together in a symphony of light that pushed back the encroaching darkness. As Finn began his journey toward the distant sea, he carried with him not just the physical reminders of his quest, but also the accumulated wisdom of each sun. The crystal sun had taught him to see clearly, the emerald sun had shown him the interconnectedness of all living things, and the silver sun had helped him understand the power of dreams and wisdom. The path ahead would lead him to new wonders and challenges, but for now, he paused to rest in a meadow where dreamflowers bloomed, their petals opening to reveal tiny galaxies spinning within. Above him, the three restored suns continued their eternal dance, their light a promise of harmony yet to come.